assistant professor from Walchand Institute of Technology. Today's concept name is SRS in the software engineering. Let us start. First one is learning outcomes. At the end of this session, the student will understand the concept of software requirement specification. First one is the introduction. All plan-driven life cycle models describe that before starting to develop software, the exact requirements of the customer must be understood and documented. A good requirements document not only helps to form a clear understanding of various features required from the software, but also serve as a basic for various activities carried out during later life cycle phases. The goal of the requirements analysis and specification phase is to clearly understand the customer requirements and to systematically organize the requirements into a document called the software requirements specification, that is the SRS document. The production of the requirement stage of the software development process is software requirement specification. This report lays a foundation for the software engineering activities and is constructing when entire requirements are decided and analyzed. SRS is a formal report which acts as a representation of a software that enables the customer to review whether its SRS is according to their requirements. Next one is also it comprises user requirement for a system as well as a detailed specification for the system requirements. Next slide is for importance of a software requirement specification. First is clarity and understanding. The SRS provide a common communication channel between stakeholders so that everyone agrees as to what the project aims at. It reduces ambiguity and the risk of misunderstanding among team members in clarity defining requirements. Basis for the project planning. The planning for software development project must be particularly detailed. The SRS is required information for project managers to define realistic timelines, assign appropriate resource and set milestones. It provides a basic planning projects which allows team to accurately estimate cost and schedules. Third one is provide a single source of a truth. An SRS is a plan of action that serves as guide for the development team and keeps everyone involved. Fourth importance is guidance for development teams. The SRS is used to guide developers in their understanding of the functional specification and how the software will be designed. The document offers an overview of the system architecture, user interface and the data structure which enable developers to build a system that meets with the client expectations. Fifth one is facilitates testing and quality assurance. SRS are used as references by the quality assurance and testing teams which use them to design test cases verifying the software conforms with what was specified. Because testing has well specified requirements, it becomes much more of systematic procedure and chance that important functionality is overlooked or reduced. Sixth one is client and stakeholder specification. The SRS is contract between the development team and their client or stakeholders. These boost client satisfaction and truth if the final product meet was documented. Next one is risk mitigation. The earlier in the software development life cycle you can spot the potential risk, the better. The SRS help in the risk assessment by specifying dependencies, constraints and possible risks. This makes the development process smoother for project manager who can come up with the strategies to prevent the risk. Eighth one is enhanced collaboration. Software development requires collaboration. The SRS has team spirit working together with cross-functional teams. It forms a single vision and shared understanding of the project. Next is characteristics of SRS. SRS is the software requirement specification. First one is complete, correct, clear, accurate and consistent. First one is complete. The SRS should be complete, that is all the software requirements should be mentioned in a software requirement specification. Correct, it should be correct, that is it should according to the needs to the customer. Clear, it should be clear, the requirements of the software should be clearly declared. Next is accurate, it should have accuracy. If this is not accurate, then the software cannot be developed. Last one is consistent, it should be consistent from beginning to end so that user can easily understand the requirements. And consistency can be achieved only when there is no contradiction between two requirements. Next one is verifiable. It should be verifiable. The requirements are verified by expert and testers. Next is modifiable. All the requirements specified in the SRS document should be modifiable. This can be happen only when the structure of SRS is balanced. Next is traceable. It should be traceable, that each requirement in it should be identified differently. Each requirement should have its own identity. Next is testable. It should be testable, that is it should capable of being tested in any way. Next is unambiguous. It can be unambiguous only when all the requirements have only one meaning, that is there should be only one interpretation. This is a small diagram for characteristics of a good SRS, that is correctness, completeness, consistency, unambiguous. Next slide is correctness. User review is used to provide the accuracy of requirements stated in the SRS. SRS is said to be perfect if it covers all the needs they are truly expected from the system. Second characteristics is the completeness. The SRS is a complete if only if it includes the following elements. In that, first one is all essential requirements, whether they are relating to functionality, performance, design, constraints, attribute or external interfaces. Second one is defining their response of the software to all realizable classes. Third one is consistency. The SRS is consistent if and only if no substance of individual requirement described in the conflict. There are types of a possible conflict in the SRS are the specified characteristics of a real world object may conflict. For example, a format of an output report may be described in one requirement as a tabular but in another as a textual. Second is the one condition may state all the lights shall be green, white, other state shall all lights shall be blue. Unambiguousness. SRS is unambiguousness when every fixed requirement has only one interpretation. This suggests that each element is uniquely interpreted. Next one is a ranking for importance and stability. The SRS is ranked for importance and stability if each requirement is identified to indicate either significance or stability of that particular requirements. Next one is modifiability. SRS should be made as modifiable as likely and should be capable of quickly obtain changes to system to some other extent. Next characteristics is verifiability. Software requirement specification is correct when the specified requirements can be verified with a cost-effective system to check whether the final software meets those requirements. And the last one is traceability. The SRS is traceable if the origin of each of the requirements is clear and if it facilitates the referencing of each condition in a future development or enhancement documentation. Thank you.